Hello, and welcome to another episode of Jizz Zwifts.
Okay, Petit Pavé. This is Zwift Games Stage 4, and we're in France for the new routes again that Zwift's released for this racing series. Let's try and get about middle of the pack in this advanced category racing. Here we go, a couple of tough climbs in this. We're expecting to be about 46 minutes.
I hadn't checked who was in the starting pens for this race, but we've got a tough lineup.
Luke Walton's here.
Luke was returning from 2 weeks off the bike, a very strong rider.
Rough draft cycling. I've got my money on him for the win.
Not just him, we've also got Josh Harris for company.
I've got Josh Harris too. Oh man. Yeah, we're up against it today. Don't want to be giving any spoilers, but I won't be competing with these guys.
Josh is one of the top 10 riders in Zwift, I'm sure. So I quickly reassessed what my expectations were for the race today. Middle of the pack, don't chase anybody off the front. I'm racing using the Zwift concept bike, the Tron bike. I've just recently unlocked the ability to level it up, but with 8,000 kilometres needed to reach stage 5, it's going to take the best part of the year to get there. Coming into this cobbled section, and it's beginning to get a bit stretched out. I'm falling back from the pack, 12th position out of the 18 riders. So I put in an extra dig just to catch up with the group. Some guys doing orange numbers here on the right hand side, putting out big watts to really stretch this back. Now I'm having to go into a high gear and put in a big dig just to stay onto the back of this group. I'm in the wrong gear when I come off the power though, and the trainer starts to slow up and pushes me into a really low cadence.
Oh look, it's too early for your feather, buddy.
Yeah, a couple of guys using their featherweight power up very early in the race. Luke does well here to close the gap to the guys that were out in front, but with only one power up for the whole race duration, a lot of the smarter guys will be keeping a hold of it till the end. We're coming through the Les Intestins section of the race. You can see why it's called Intestins from the map in the top right. But there's nothing really happening at this stage in the race. Guys are putting in some efforts, just surging back and forth through these twisty, sharp corners. But the whole pack's still together, not dropped anybody from the back, and nobody's taken the advantage to run out in front yet.
Right. This could easily see me dropped out the back of the pack here.
Okay, coming into the first big challenge of this route, the Petit KOM. You can see some of the riders going off the front. Josh follows as well. Now, I'm quite happy just taking as much draft as I can from the other riders in this climb. It's going to be a good 5 to 6 minute effort climbing, and I'm not one to burn all my matches at this stage of the race. But I was also mindful of how poorly I did on this climb in races in the past, after it was featured on Bike Bonk Biff's channel as part of his weekly recon for the route. He did well to highlight areas where I could have pushed harder, and the impact of how you will fall back from the draft if you're not giving it your all in this climb. A couple of the lighter riders have raced ahead here as well in the climb. Not too concerned with that at this stage. Quite happy to be sitting with the group. I'll get most of the benefit of the draft with these guys, and hopefully we'll be able to catch some of them on the downhill the other side of it. We're almost at the summit. I'm having to push out 4 to 5 watts a kilo just to stick with this group. Beginning to really feel it now. Heart rate's up at the high 180s. But really mindful that I don't want to lose this pack, because if you lose them at the top, you won't catch them going downhill. They'll have such a better advantage by descending in a group.
Remember, don't get dropped there.
Yep, lesson learned on the Petit KOM. Much better this time round.
Here's Mike. Oh. Oh, what a relief. After bike ball cliffs, recon. It's getting right worried. It's going to get dropped on that climb again. That guy's surging here. Just going to use the recovery as I can, as much of it as I can. Everyone likes the super tuck, but I'm not going to do anything for breakaways. Josh and the guys out front are so far ahead. Maybe it's just momentum taking them down.
The flat section between the KOM and the aqueduct was pretty straightforward. No major attacks or anything to report. Our group just stayed together until we got to the aqueduct. Aqueduct's another area where I performed poorly in my race last year, covered in Stephen's footage. I was just hanging at the back too much, and it's not a big climb by any means, but the guys can really put down a fast climb and quicken the pace, and you can easily be dropped if you're not paying attention. So keen to make sure I don't make the same mistakes again. On to the last climb of the route. Petit KOM Reverse. And the pack's still together. Still got the majority of the group together here. We do have one rider that's fell off the back. It's another Scottish guy. He's a couple of minutes behind. And at this point, Josh has got a lead of about 2 minutes. He's been doing a individual time trial, essentially on his own, at the front of the race, going at his own pace. So on this climb, you're wanting to use the draft as much as you can. Luke Walton leads out the climb. He's a strong climber, so I doubt he's had much concern, and he's probably keen to lead as much as he can. Climbing's not my strong point, so I'll let the others do the heavy lifting where I can. So I've got a kilometre to go until the end of the race. A couple of extra orange segments on this climb, so having to put in an extra bit of effort just to keep up. with the rest of the guys on this climb. So hitting around 5.5 watts a kilo. I've still got Luke Walton out front. He's been pretty steady at the front of this pack that we're riding with for the majority of the climb. I do know though that Luke popped his feather quite early on in the race, so I do have that advantage if I can just catch up with him here. Got the HCT rider just behind Luke at the front of our smaller pack. He's catching up on Luke now, and he's doing big watts, 6.5 watts a kilo. He's going for his final push for the banner. Past the chateau here, the last cobbled section, and we're going back into the orange sections again for the climb. So when it gets to 0.3 kilometres to go, that's when I want to pop my feather, just when I see the name on this tarmac on the road. That way I'll get the full use of the power up, and it should finish just before I get to the banner point. Yep, Luke's done well, but slightly fading towards the end of it, where we've got the momentum with my power up and a couple of guys doing light surges. The Spanish guy in the yellow jersey here, he opens it up, an extra big push for his finish. I'm not going to match that, but I do manage just to squeeze in front of the German at the finish line. 8th place out of the 19 riders. Quite happy with that. I think it was predicted 14th.
Oh man, what can I say? I've got to be happy with that. 8th position. My watts are way down compared to a lot of those riders, so definitely happy with that. Played it tactically. Sat in the draft, so I'm nowhere near 4 watts a kilo at the minute, especially for 46 minutes. That was close enough for my guess. For 46 minutes. But yeah, I seem to be mid 3.5 watts per kilo for anything longer than 20 minutes. Josh is just crazy strong, like top 10 riders in the world I think at the minute. So yeah, he was in his own race, doing a time trial for his Tuesday morning breakfast, I guess, over in Australia. Luke, top 10, good effort buddy. He really would have had me on the climb if he didn't pop his feather early on. I don't know if that was by mistake or if I don't know if he's rode any of the Zwift Games in the last couple of weeks, but yeah, only one featherweight, only one power up for the whole race. Oh man. Yeah, I don't mind being 3.5 minutes behind Josh. Yeah, I was a bit nervous about using the Tron bike for this. I've not used it before for a race. I've only just unlocked the ability to start levelling it just this week. So yeah, get 4 kilometres. Not much in the tank on it, but that's probably going to be my weapon of choice for a lot of these races. It's not the fastest bike, but it's got a lot of mileage required to level up. So I better get a move on. Okay, thanks for tuning in guys. See you next time on Jizz Zwifts.